Reaches its conclusion. Coming your way first up is a tantalising clash between the old dynasty, the three-time defending champions, Lions FC, as they take on the rising force from the south as Gold Coast Knights chase their third piece of silverware in 2024. James Coughlin here in the commentary booth, ready to bring you this highly anticipated contest. And I'm very pleased to be joined by a player with plenty of experience in the local game, Palabar captain Demi Robbins. Demi, welcome to the booth.
Hello, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about Lions. It is kind of a transition year, but they're still incredibly good and could lead to some silverware under Rob Askew.
Yeah, I mean, Lions are just always the team to beat, and even when you think they're not on top of their game, they can still come out and be on top of their game.
Meanwhile, the challengers, Gold Coast Knights, they're not used to the underdog status, but this is the biggest test under Project Gary French.
Yeah, Knights are honestly just a force to be reckoned with at the moment, and I think they're ready to show that they can beat anyone in the FQPL or NPL.
And we've got some ruthless warm-ups taking place as well. There is Amy Morland, who might actually be the fittest player in the competition.
Yeah, she is unbelievable. She just does everything and anything.
Meanwhile, Gold Coast Knights, they are scoring for fun in just about any game. And we are going to run through the lineups momentarily as we get set on this beautiful September afternoon here in Newmarket. That is what they're playing for. And we're going to go now to the Lions team lineup. They are the nominated home team for this afternoon's game. And it's all about Meg McElligott up front. She'll be wearing number 23, not number 6, but she is just an insanely good striker and a valuable piece for this Lions attack.
Yeah, Meg's someone that you want on your team every day of the week. She's someone who will finish goals. She's a team player. She gets in, she defends. She's everywhere on the field. So she's going to be awesome for Lions today.
That she will. And also, interesting choice with the goalkeeper. Emily Clark, the regular option, retains her spot ahead of Bella Shuttleworth.
Yeah, I think they've brought her in. She's a bit of a shot stopper, so we'll see how she goes there.
All right, that is how Lions are lining up. Meanwhile, Gold Coast Knights, they've made the trip up the M1 and they're not hoping to head back empty-handed. My eye is on number 10, Rhea Catano, one of my favourite players to watch.
Yeah, Rhea's an awesome player. She's someone who just holds the whole field. She directs everything on the field. She's someone who the Lions are going to need to pick up pretty quickly.
And Laura Seville, 44 goals in all competitions this season. Hard to stop.
Nah, goal machine. She's, unbelievable. She'll do awesome today.
All right, here they come out onto Imperial Corp Stadium. The two teams in the Kappa Queensland Cup final, Gold Coast Knights and Lions FC. And it is a fairly healthy crowd building in the stands here. I think I saw a fairly long line at the pizza oven as well.
Yeah. I know, Brisbane City's good for that. Looks like a lovely day as well out there, isn't it?
It is. We finally had that warm change coming through as we now get ready for tonight's, or this afternoon's match. It is a double header, and we've got the men's match coming up as well. And we'll meet our match officials for this afternoon's game. We've got the referee, Nefertiti Kurzaluska, assisted by Vicky Clark and Violet Matthews, and the fourth official is Taylor Schofield. You always want to get on the good side of a referee early, don't you?
I know, especially the captains when they go up there for that toss. You got to, flutter your eyelids and try to give them a nice little compliment before the game starts.
I tried that once and I just wound up getting a yellow card before kickoff.
Anything that can help.
It is. So Lions in their all-orange kit. They are the three-time defending champions in this competition, and they have an impressive 20-0 record over the years. Meanwhile, Gold Coast Knights, under Gary French, 52 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's insane, and they'll be playing NPL next season as well.
I think they're going to do similar to what Brisbane City did this year and just come into the NPL and just show that, they were meant to be there from the start, but we'll see how they go against the Lions girls tonight.
That they will. And Lions, they have revitalised this squad as well. You look at the names, it's not a lot of familiar names from the last few seasons, but they've brought in plenty of talent. Alyssa Cox has been a very strong inclusion coming off one of those wings.
Yeah, I think, we look at the list and we think, they're not the normal Lions players that we see, but that's nothing to say against all the young players coming through, and they're just going to be a whole new force to be reckoned with. So
it is the production line out at Richlands. Here are the captains. It is Tara O'Keefe wearing the armband for Lions and Amy Morland for Gold Coast Knights. And some final instructions as well. This is, from what I can tell, the first competitive meeting in the NPL era between these sides.
Yeah.
And it is going to be certainly a blockbuster. What are you expecting here this afternoon, Demi? Is it going to be a high-scoring game, or is it going to be a bit more of a cagey affair, perhaps?
I feel like it'll be a little bit more of a cagey affair. I do think if Knights get a few early ones away, I think it could be a bit of a floodgates there, because once Knights have that momentum they're going, they don't stop. So
once they get that bit between their teeth. So quick run through of the last few finals. Lions in 2021 defeated Western Pride 7-1. They were up after 2 minutes in that game. Then in 2022 at Goodwin Park, 4-0 over South United. Tegan Riding got Lions on the board in the 10th minute. And last year here at Imperial Corp Stadium, they had to wait a little bit for the goals, but they came flooding through in the second half. Shayana Singh scored first for Souths in the 62nd minute. It was an absolute tracer bullet. And then Lions scored the next 4 as super subs. McElligott and Gunston pitched in on that match.
Yeah, I think both these teams definitely aren't teams that can't come back. They're both teams that, no matter what the scoreline is at the start, they both are able to, dig deep in that last bit. So I don't think it's going to be a case of whoever scores first is going to be in the lead. I think it's going to be right to the very end. So.
And no shortage of big game experience on both of these sides as well. We've mentioned it already, but it has to be said again. You look at the NPL experience with the likes of just that midfield, Kissel, Moreland, Kitano.
Yeah.
He's brought plenty of talent to the Croatian Sports Centre, and now they're on the field at Imperial Corp Stadium. What will unfold over the next 90 or maybe 120 minutes? We'll just have to wait and see. James Coughlin, Demi Robbins bringing all the action on FQTV. And we are all set for this blockbuster final. On this stunning Saturday afternoon, it'll be Meg McElligott getting us underway. Lines going left to right on your screen. And we are all set. Here we go. The decider is underway. Early pressure being applied by Knights as Get will just play it over the sideline. And that misplaced pass caught Karen Barsis out.
I think Knights are going to be ready to start off guns blazing at the moment. So we'll see how Lions react, especially if they've been having a lot of younger players out there.
Well, I was talking to someone from Gold Coast Knights during the week, and they were joking this is probably the first time they've been underdogs or been able to play the underdog card in one of their games. But they have had a pretty good record when they've taken on NPL opposition in the cup tournaments early on, as that one came off the hand, but play on for the advantage.
Yeah, I think although might be known as the underdog team, they definitely aren't underdog players. Laura's already
making a nuisance for herself. Yeah. Gets that shot, and it's blocked away by Nielsen. Seville chasing it down, gets the cross in. It's nodded back. Kitano now on the edge of the box, looking to orchestrate an opportunity, and Knights certainly starting on the front foot here.
Yeah, whether it's a cross or a shot, I don't think you can be giving Laura Seville that much time, especially considering her goal record already this year.
She has been imperious form. Laura Seville scored in 14 of 16 FQPL matches. As you can see, the clever foul by Kane just to cut out Meg McElligott. And look at the number of jerseys around her as well. Searching ball picked out Cox well.
I would nearly say that there's probably more experience on the Knights team than there is on the Lions team this year, which is interesting with having Knights be the FQPL team in this comp.
Well, again, they're FQPL in name only as well, and you would have seen them firsthand twice this season, and I think Capalba one of the few teams to actually score against them.
Yeah, we were on a little bit of a hot streak and had a 1-0 lead for the first 70 minutes, and then we wanted to score another goal, but scored it in our own goal. So,
so technically, you're calling that 2.
Yes, but no, they were. They're a good group of girls. You can see that they have played together for longer than what Knights has existed. So,
Kitano playing that searching ball over the top, and she's done a great job finding Withers out on the right. Gets a shot away, and inside 3 minutes, Gold Coast Knights strike first. And how about that from end to end? And they're up early through Harriet Withers, 35 goals on the season.
Yeah, she's another one. It's Knights have got both left and right sides with Laura and Harriet. You can't give any of them any space, any time on the ball. You've got to cut them down nice and early.
And that pass was inch perfect as well. And Lions wasting no time with the kickoff. Less than 30 seconds to getting us back underway. And a bit of a slip there from Kissel, and it's pounced on by Lions as McElligott will try and clip it over the top of Watanabe, but unsuccessfully so. The two sides happy to play on the front foot.
Yeah. I think we're looking at the games from last time that Amy scored in the first 2 minutes.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
During the game last year with Josh Musumisi, who'll be bringing you the men's final coming up. That's scheduled for a 7:15 kickoff, so don't go anywhere after the full-time whistle of this one, but we were surprised how long it took for a goal in 2023.
I know. It'll be interesting to see how Lions react to this now with an early goal.
And was that a raised arm? It is. It was signalled by the near side assistant. Emily Bowman just blocking that clearance any way possible.
It's a hard thing not to do when you're just trying to chuck your whole body in front of the ball.
And I'm just noticing as well, Demi, the Lions players, they are looking into the setting sun behind that goal. So be interested to know who chose what end off that coin toss. Catano just so determined in midfield, pinching it off McElligott.
It's just so controlled on the ball. If you give her an inch, she's going to take all of it.
Give an inch, take a mile, and all of that. Bateman hooks it clear.
Like we said before, you normally kind of have one dominant wing that you're going to try to focus on blocking them, but Knights have both of their wingers are just as dominant as each other with Laura and Harriet, so it will be very tricky for Lions to defend both sides equally.
Another chance for Knights from this corner. Takamura taking up station right in front of Emily Clark. Towards the near post, headed away by Cox, as her height at those set pieces is going to be so crucial.
Lions had every single player in for that one as well.
No way through now, Rantucci. McElligott just got Cox in support out on the left. Can she find her? And loose touch, and here is a chance for Cox if she can find a way around Elliott. And Cox will take the shot. And just fizzed across the face.
Knights and Lions are both teams that any mistake that you make in that back line, they're going to capitalise on that. So both girls are going to be making sure they're all doing crisp pass at the back there and trying to remove any little mistakes.
And against either of these sides, you'd hate being a defender under normal circumstances, but with the playmakers that they both have at their disposal, you really can't afford to switch off.
Yeah, I think about pre-game, briefings when the coach normally picks out one or two players, you wouldn't really know who they're picking out as their two main key players that you're going to try to block down, because both teams have several players that you'd need to be watching.
Feels like with both of these teams, you're almost asking them to play left-handed only to discover they're ambidextrous. Annabelle Gibson has made the move from Gold Coast Knights, and she's Gold Coast United, I beg your pardon, to Gold Coast Knights. Young player with plenty of experience in the local game, Annabelle Gibson. And there's Tony Marie Rantucci. Scored first in the semi-final win over Souths, which was an excellent game to watch. Nodded away by Get. At the bottom of your screen is the Lions bench with Rob Askew on the right side, and been ridiculously good at Lions, winning 11 trophies.
Yeah, they have been unstoppable for a very long time, so it is nice to see a bit more competition coming into the league and all teams getting tested a little bit more.
Free kick for Lions. Get looking to take it quickly, and again there's that long diagonal ball, looking to find Cox, who was expecting McElligott to run through that channel nearest to her. Bateman again just misplacing the pass. Reynard still getting tuned in for Lions this afternoon as pressure is applied by Takamura. Keith colliding with Catano in midfield. Rantucci playing it through, and McElligott unable to get on the end of that one. Easily marshalled by Jaya Brown.
Lions had 3 players running through. If that just split the defence a little bit, then I think Lions would have been on there. Bit of an interesting call there.
Trying to pin Knights down, and great work by Karambasis, but could not play it through, trying to thread the needle between the two Knights defenders. And Bateman has come a long way out, and Knights could try to take advantage of the space left vacant, but it's a heavy pass. Lions putting the pressure on. Able to find a way through. McElligott dropping deep, trying to get involved. Catano. Kissel on the second attempt, chipping it over the top for Seville.
Couple of shirt balloons, both going each way there.
Always the old joke, if you want my shirt so much, I'll give it to you at full time.
I think Laura and TK will be a nice little battle out there for this game on the wing.
Two, again, experienced players, and Karen Barsis coming off a season with Central Coast in the A-League. Thoroughly deserved call-up and contract there, and doing a stint back at Lions. So asking for the throw-in, not heeded, however. Again, finding Withers with space. This time for the low ball in towards the spot and cleared away by Get, but only as far as Withers there. And a stumbling block, but it got the job done.
Both Lions and Knights were able to do that cross the field ball, so I think both teams need to be very wary of that.
As a defender, when you know these moves are coming, but it's still difficult to stop, how do you react to that?
I think, like you said, it is difficult to react to. It is unfortunately that, you know, in between when you're coming up against a team like this, it's not like you can sit out there and just block that pass, because they can still have the players that can drive through the middle. So they're just going to have to sit off a little bit, and just as they see that head go up, especially from a player like Ree or someone, they need to then start dropping off and get ready for that switch ball.
And some of the young supporters there for Lions, and the bounce just too tall for McElligott. Moreland sends it back, and Gibson just disrupting Rantucci enough, and Seville helping out. getting the attention of Edward, but the heavy pass back from Kissel has gone back for a corner.
Yeah, this will be Lions' first corner of the game, I think.
It feels like it, yes.
Yeah. And like we said before, someone like Meg is, you know, someone who's going to always get on the end of these sorts of things, so they need to make sure that they're marking her up closely.
And the reaction from Kissel says it all. Gannon University alumni of Pennsylvania. There's a corner towards the near post, and it's headed onto the post by Seville, who almost scored the own goal.
She cleared it out to make up for it.
Quick reaction time, because those rebounds off the post can catch even the best out. And Tucci's pressure earns Lions another corner as we approach a quarter of an hour played. Gold Coast Knights leading the Kappa Queensland Cup final. Oh, there's Rantucci going head-to-head with Brown, and not too much arguing from the Knights defender, so we'll assume that was the correct call.
She knows she did that one. Another good ball in, just a bit high.
Towards Cox, and too tall, and almost like it was a attempted Olympico. Watanabe, the only Gold Coast Knights player to appear in every match this season, the goalkeeper. Just a lazy 19 clean sheets to her name.
It's a nice little record, isn't it?
Well, I did their game against North Lakes back in, it would have been round 2, and the stats we had on the night, I think they were credited with 40-something shots on target. And they were pretty much camped in the North Lakes half for pretty much the entire match. But well, I say it was only a 3-0 win, and say only because of the amount of shots.
Yeah, that sun out there seems to be being a little bit of a problem for some of the girls with their hands over their eyes.
You can't bring a cap out onto the pitch.
No.
Seville finding Gibson as he tried to cut inside, but well defended. O'Keefe, and Lions unable to clear it out of their own end.
Lions are definitely working back to get as many players behind the ball as they can.
Well, it's a major sign of respect from Lions as well, just dropping so deep to try and stifle this Knights attack. And an awkward bounce, and Bateman recovered well to clear it away for the throw-in. Kissel unable to find a way through the orange jerseys. Pass a bit too hot for Ellen Get. Held down the X button for too long.
Yeah.
11 A-League appearances to her name already, Ellen Get, and potentially many more to come. Goes towards the back post again, and a great save by Clark. And that was dangerous, and the young keeper stood up well.
That was a very good save. That was definitely going in if she just dropped for a second there.
And that pass, it unlocked Lions for the first goal, and it almost unlocked them for the second one, but Clark was right place, right time. Pretty much everything you'd want from a goalkeeper as well. Brown switching it out wide for Elliott.
Kept it in? No. I think everyone's been happy that there's a bit of warmer weather, but now these girls look like they're probably wishing it was back to the cold days. They've already got up a nice glow on them.
Well, it was 2020 season back when you were at Logan as well, and because of the enforced postponements for the season, grand finals were late November or something.
Yeah,
so
it was hot.
it was the exact opposite of what we're normally used to with the season moving into the cooler weather, but restarted in July and we played through till November.
Yeah, I think our grand final against Lions at Perry Park was a 4 p.m. kickoff as well or something, and we were roasted by half time.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't standing on the sunny side in a suit jacket for most of that game. Jumping over the clubhouse wherever possible, but meanwhile, here go Knights again, playing it through, and it's Withers the target, but Karen Bass is in the way. And the Lions breaking this far side. Cox trying to get involved, the former QAS and Olympic player. Pressure applied by Takamura, and Cox shrugs off that challenge, and she'll try and switch it. You can only pick out Gibson. She dribbled it almost straight back to the feet of Alyssa Cox, and now here goes Bowman driving towards the box. She's got McElligott there to aim for and can only find Corey Kane. Centre back who scored last weekend against Moreton City. It skidded off the Bateman's head. Karen Bass is over to cover.
I think she knew she had to get in a touch in there as quick as she could.
And once you've committed to those challenges as a defender as well, you would know just as well as anyone, you're thinking, I've got to get this right, I've got to get this right, I've got to get this right.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game to play, but yeah, those ones you've just got to get a touch to, especially against a player like her.
Back well by Bowman.
I think both teams are starting to settle a little bit and find their grooves. I think it started off very frantic in that first 10 or 15 minutes from both teams, but they're both stringing a few more passes together now.
Morland on the ball as she's marshalled by Bowman back towards the halfway line. Karen Bass is picking out McElligott, and Knight's reading that pass very well. It was Brown with the interception. Hooks it at the sideline. McElligott tries to get to it first, but Kane playing off the Lions attacker for the throw-in. Now, Demi, one of the big stories that came out this week as well, 2 weeks ago, it was the news that Lions and NPL Queensland legend Marielle Hecker will be retiring at the end of the A-League season. And while I know professionally as a defender you might be glad to see the back of her, it's a big loss for the competition as well.
Yeah, I think, Marielle's been an awesome asset for the game. I think, like you said, defending her, although you hate it, like you also love it. Like she teaches you so much when you're out there as well. She's just brought such an awesome impact. What are we on here?
And it's Takamura trying to get away from Karen Bass. Gets a
in.
shot away, and Lions go down 2-0 as Eri Takamura scores, and Knights have doubled their advantage. Just determined work from the striker, and not much the defenders could have done about that.
No, they're just so strong. They're so composed. Just chasing that down the whole way, even with a few little shirt pulls.
It's Takamura getting goal number 31 for the season, 6th of the cup. And now Lions with a big hole to climb out of.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think Knights are someone who they thrive off these goals. They're not going to slow down. They're not going to want to put, the brakes on or anything like that. They're going to just keep going, and if Lion give them that space, they're not going to stop. So,
Indeed, and just back to Mariel Hecker talking about her impact in the game. I just think back to the semi-final win over South. She only played 20 minutes, but put on what is for her a typical assist, playing an inch-perfect through ball for the Lions' third goal, which I believe was scored by Meg McGilligan. Yes, it was. Well, the fourth goal, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I think Meg will probably be missing her out there. I think they do awesome combinations. But, yeah, Mariel just as like a sole player for the league has just been awesome. She's a great community person. She's a good leader. She's good diverse. She's good to have on your team. Never had the privilege to have her on my team. We're always against her. But, she's a great friend. She's just someone who the whole of NPL has been very lucky to have.
Well, the last touch for that one, I thought came off Rantucci. However, the decision is for a Lions throw-in. I think they'll take that.
Yeah.
And in these moments as well for Lions, this is a side, they know they've got goals in them. They've sort of come in spurts this season, but they are capable of scoring on their day, including Mackenzie Nielsen, who, despite playing centre-back, has 6 goals this year, including, I think, one of the best penalties I saw in their 5-4 win over Souths.
That is a very good rate from a defender. I think they'll be missing Amy Gunston out there a little bit tonight.
And Karen Barsis. It's a clearance away, and with an assist, behind it goes. So Eri Takamura, the attacker's 31 goals in 2024, just to go with 2023 in the league.
Yeah, I think both teams aren't shy of a few goals here and there, and they're not shy of a big scoreline as well. So there's definitely lots of stats out there for both teams' players.
And for a stats nerd like me, I always love digging into the archives and bringing those up. And speaking of goals, so under Gary French, 54 games prior to today for Gold Coast Knights, 312 goals scored.
That is just...
I'm not going to get my calculator out to do the division on how many goals per game that is.
No.
Just a lot.
Like we said, especially with Knights, obviously been in their league this year. I've followed along a bit closer, but they, you see a 3-0 scoreline and you think, oh, they must have taken it a little bit easy or something like that. They're just, yeah, they all can have a good crack, which is nice to see.
Well, I have had to battle in the cup run as well, Gold Coast Knights. It was a 9-1 win over Grange. That probably wasn't much of a battle, but they did have 2 matches against NPL opponents, 2-1 win at home against East and a 1-0 win at Penn Power, a 94th minute winner from Seville.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game here on my iPad while doing another game. And then 5-0 over Logan, and the semi-final 8-1 over MA Olympic.
Yeah, that was the one they travelled for, wasn't it?
They did. And now they find themselves 2-0 up in the final through 26 minutes. James Coughlin, Demi Robbins bringing you all the action here from Imperial Corp Stadium in the 4th edition of the Kappa Queensland Cup Women's Tournament. It was previously called the Kappa Women's Super Cup. And Lions, for the first time, might be feeling their grasp on that trophy starting to weaken a little bit. It's been pretty much bolted into the trophy cabinet out at Richlands for the last 3 years.
Along with a lot of other trophies.
Well, Lions, they've never had a trophyless season with Rob Askew at the helm, and they'll be looking to keep that in. And oh, that was a clumsy challenge by Bateman that collected Catano, and it was just outside the box.
I was going to say that's very close to being.
You see the replay for Catano, and oh, I think that was actually inside the box.
Inside.
So
they'll be very lucky there isn't a very close VAR here, won't they?
I think that's seen as an expletive, that 3-letter word in some corners of our audience. And goes the lofted free kick towards the back post, and it's A pair of Lions defenders ahead of Seville. Gibson mopping up. She'll look to turn provider. Kissel just behind Takamura, and it's still there for Knights if Takamura can get on the end of it, but instead it's Nielsen.
Like we were talking about Marielle before, I think a game like this is a game that they'd be missing just her experience and her composure and guidance on the field. So I'm sure they would have loved to have her for 1 or 2 more games.
I'm sure they would, and I'm sure the Brisbane Roar will be very much looking forward to having her services this coming A-League season as well. And we'll kick off before we know it. I think we get about a 2-3 week break between the NPL, FQPL action coming to an end, and then it's A-League season, and the football really does never stop. Which, if you like me, is a good thing, but anyway.
And see more of that shade starting to creep over the field, which would be nice for the girls out there.
And I'm sure they'll be hoping the temperature drops as well. McElligott playing it through for Rantucci. And it's there for Cox, and an air swing under pressure from Watanabe, and that is the best chance Lions have had all afternoon. It was great work by Rantucci getting on the end of it and putting the early ball in. Cox had made the run, and she just saw that flash of yellow from the goalkeeper's jersey out of the corner of her eye.
Any little toe to that would have, I reckon, hit the back of the net there. But they got a corner out of it.
They did. It's a lofted ball to the top of the box and a header from a long way out. This forces a save, so that stats keeper will put that as a shot on target. Karambasis from range. And Cox gives away the throw in. Quarter of an hour remaining here in this first half. Just a reminder, this is the double header. We've got Lions back in action in the men's final of the Kappa Queensland Cup, and taking on Moreton City. Two sides with Australia Cup duty coming up this week as well, so the training staff will be working overtime for both of those sides. And then coming up next weekend as well, it's semi-final action where, oh, would you look at that? I can't help but notice Capalaba are in action, Demi.
I know, we'll be coming up against Gold Coast Knights, so I'm going to be watching these players a little bit closely right now.
Be honest, what's going through your head right now? Thinking about that semi-final.
I'm hoping that they're really buggered by next week.
Thank you for keeping that broadcast friendly, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're such a strong squad, so I think even if they are buggered, they're still going to be a nice test for us.
Well, a player that was just on the ball, Amy Morland, she might know better than anyone. As she does triathlons, and couldn't help but notice last season when they were playing FQPL South Coast, she was doing triathlons on the weekend and then playing Monday nights.
Yeah, you see her Instagram posts and stories, and I think, oh, it must be, you know, a recap or from another time, but no, it's the day after a game, or it's 2 days after a game. She's just, got to be one of the fittest people out there. Not even just out there, in the whole both 2 leagues, I reckon.
Indeed, and it makes me think I need to go out for a run. But Rantucci through for McElligott. She's watched closely, and getting under the ball was Edward.
Meg did well to hold that one up.
And every time McElligott's on the ball as well, I'm just noticing she's got 2 defenders right there keeping her company. As she might not want that company, but just making life tough for McElligott.
Yeah, Meg's a player that you get told before the game to keep a very close eye on. She can definitely shoot from range and she can take players on, so a very hard play to mark.
And here's the ball over the top and a long way out as Clark clears it away. And Takamura, I think that's a foot save there by Clark, as Lions defensively just a little bit disorganised, but it looks like they've been able to regain their composure.
Emily did very well there.
And it's that level of commitment you want from a goalkeeper as well in that situation.
Exactly, and I think, yeah, once they commit, they've got to commit. So if she's out there, she's got to stay out there and get the job done, which she did awesomely.
It's a young goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, she's been awesome to see come up through the league. She was at Logan when I was at Logan. She got her few first top team games when I was there, so it's nice to see her just keep building up.
And there is a shot from Patano and a great save getting down and claiming that cleanly was Clark. Just don't ask me to say that 5 times really quickly. Claiming that cleanly was Clark. It was on her quickly, and I'm not sure how much you would have seen with that through Nielsen.
No, there was definitely a lot of orange bodies through there, which is good, but also blocks the view of the keeper a little bit.
I'm talking about the sun for this whole first half, but she's probably just hoping it goes down below the trees very, very quickly. And, well, Atsuko Watanabe will be thinking this is going to be fun for the second half.
Another good commitment little run out there from Emily. She's probably doing the most steps she's done in a game as well.
8 clean sheets this season for Emily Clark in 20 appearances. Great ball over the top for Withers as she looks for the cutback for Morland, who is just lurking.
Yeah. I think those little flick-on passes there just shows how well Knights know their own players. They know that, you know, the likes of Harriet and stuff will get onto those balls so they can put those on.
And Amy Morland, she's one of the captains of Gold Coast Knights, as the club is enjoying a very successful campaign. As that improvised shot is on, and that was offside. So Lions survive, and Seville thought she might have had her contribution to the score sheet today, but she'll have to wait as Lions play on quickly and Knights getting the ball back.
I think that'll be very, very tight to see how far Laura was off there, if the girls did step up quick enough.
Let's watch Seville at the back post, and
I think Ellen Gett might have just stepped up to get her off, which is very good defending.
Yeah, and Mackenzie Nielsen on the other side as well might have been close, but well, we'll defer to the assistant on the far side, who is just a bit closer than us.
We did say the sun's in their eyes, though.
Yeah. And for Lions now, it almost just feels like not a case of surviving, but they just need to get some shots on target towards Watanabe just to try and put some, I suppose, doubt in her head.
Yeah, Lions are very similar to Knights, that they, you know, once they have their shots, they normally are good shots on target. They don't waste many of their shots. So I think if they can get a few of them in there, they'll definitely start testing the back line.
Well, first things first, they need to get the ball back from Knights, who have enjoyed the majority of possession and plenty of success down Harriet Withers' wing, and it's turned behind by Karen Barsis.
I think she tried to jump over that then.
Via a deflection from Takamura. Well, at this time of the season, doesn't always have to be the most aesthetically pleasing moves, but as long as they get the job done. Here is Gett.
Looks like she's swapped over sides.
That's one thing I have noticed, especially doing the women's game over the last 5-6 years. Just the versatility is so much more valued in NPL women's and FQPL women's as well, compared to what you're seeing in NPL men's, which seems to be much more specialised.
Yeah. I think, with the women's game coming up, with there being a few less people and options, that a lot of girls have learnt to work with what they can do kind of thing. So,
have you ever put your hand up to play striker?
I actually was a right winger growing up. I was in Queensland School Sports as a right winger, so
there we go.
That was mine. I even at Brisbane City had a stint at goalkeeper. I had Keely Richards do her shoulder before the game, and I had to play 90 minutes as goalkeeper.
I think I remember that game, actually.
We don't need to get up any footage of it, but it was...
Definitely won't mention that to the director.
No. Yeah, it was very interesting. But yes, I think I've had a little go of everywhere. Now that I did the keeper, I can say I've done a bit of everything.
Well, I think that qualifies you as a team player there.
Exactly.
So Bateman swap to right back, get over to left, and Bateman will take this throw in. And McGilligan cutting back, trying to fashion some space for the shot. Elliott plays it clear for Withers, who's watched closely by getting it's a new marker, but a similar outcome for Harriet Withers, just getting by her opposite defender. And Seville nodding it clear. She's beaten a couple of defenders. Takamura, doesn't like Karen Barsis.
Not sure who it was, but we heard a nice yell from the sideline there of not letting the ball bounce, which is definitely good feedback for the Lions girls. I don't think they can let that play, especially in front of a player like Laura.
And it's so tough to play on the front foot against this Knight side as well. And
yeah,
this is a Lions side that does like to play on the front foot and take control of the game, but they're finding themselves having to react more as well.
Yeah. Like we said, the Knights are there to capitalise on any mistakes that Lions are going to make, so they just need to make sure they get under that and get control of it as soon as possible.
Brown back for Watanabe, and pressure applied by McGilligan. Just trying to get her teammates going here as they rally for the final 5 minutes of the first half.
I think she thought she had a little bit more space there.
Indeed. Macy Edward, 5 goals in NPL under 23 this season for Lions, and one of the youth brigade that Rob Askew and the staff at Lions has brought through.
Yeah, there's a lot of young girls coming up, especially through the Lions program, that are, you can just see that they've got those principles embedded into their heads.
Throw in for Knights. Just between you and me, I think we've got a really good kit matchup in this game as well.
Yeah.
The classic all orange against the Knights away strip. Seville able to run onto that loose ball, play through for Takamura, and she's there and blocked away by Get in cover. And Lions defending desperately, but they survive another attack.
Laura did very well to feed that one through there.
She almost had too much time to think about that, and just the committed pass. Takamura shot away, and I think it might have actually come off Karen Barsis as well. And goes corner towards the penalty spot, and for a bit of back and forth off the heads, it's cleared away by Lions, but with pretty much everybody in that half of the in that half of the field. There's that chance for Knights just before.
You can just see Laura's just one of those players, if you commit to her, she'll play it off. If you don't, she'll have a shot. So she's a very, very hard player to mark.
We played with someone like that as well in Shay Connors, who was just so driven and quite smart on the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, Shay was my roommate for a few years, lived at my house. But, yeah, she's, again, yeah, another player that she'll react to how you defend. So you can't really commit too much to whatever one. You just have to go with it because, yeah, she can have a shot from far out and she'll also take on any player as well.
She can 52 goals a couple of years ago in NPL for Lions.
Yeah, she had a very good season there then.
And as the roommate as well, who was making the coffees there?
It would have been me, yeah.
Well, I can understand with that. You've got your own cafe, I understand.
Yeah, Cuties Cafe in Cleveland. So it's just around the corner from Redlands Football Club, actually. So I've had that up and going for nearly a year now, which is nice. I actually have one of my employees, Chelsea Fairbairn. She's on the bench for Lions today, so hopefully we can see her subbed on in the second half.
No pressure on the fullback.
Yeah, no. Gave her a good little pep talk at work this morning. She didn't work, she just came in for her half-price coffee.
Of course. Does she have tomorrow off by any chance?
She definitely does.
Fair.
If they lose, maybe I should make her come in, though.
Lions, can they find a way through in the closing seconds of this first half? It's Nielsen out for Cox, but not enough power on that pass. Seville, she's swapped over to that far side now. As Nielsen will just play it over the sideline and give Lions a chance to reset.
Again, that just kind of shows the versatility of all the players, that both their wingers aren't set to... Where was Harriet going to be there?
There she is, Harriet Withers with the chance to make it 3, and another save by Clark. 1 minute of time added on to play. Gibson will take the shot on, and well, there is the shot on target for Annabelle Gibson. She won't be adding to her 3 goals this season. At least from that shot, she may have a chance in the second half. I don't want to be accused of the commentator's curse. Again. A bit of confusion between Karen Barsis and Nielsen, but actually it's cleared away. But Withers winning it back. Catano plays it off Bateman. His first half stoppage time played out. Now just keep an eye on our referee, and that is the end of an eventful first half here at Imperial Corp Stadium. Gold Coast Knights leading Lions 2-0. Harriet Withers and Eri Takamura. Demi, what was your big takeaway from that first half?
I think Knights were really showing that they're the dominant force out here today. I think they showed that, you know, NPL or FQPL, it doesn't really matter. They've got the experience on the field, and yeah, I think they've been dominating the first half against Lions. Well,
that is how we will go into the break, and Gary French is 45 minutes away from another trophy with Gold Coast Knights. They'll head to the sheds with a 2-goal deficit, and we will be back with our halftime show after these messages. Stay tuned.
The Socceroos are coming to Queensland. Round 3 of Asia's FIFA World Cup qualification kicks off on Thursday, September 5th, when Australia host Bahrain at Rabina Stadium on the Gold Coast. Be a part of it as we look to make history and keep our perfect qualification record going.
It's a glorious goal!
Search Socceroos for tickets.
Felton Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters, all powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
Well, we're here at Imperial Corp Stadium for the final of the Kappa Queensland Cup. It's Gold Coast Knights leading the women's final. Two goals to nil. James Coughlin, Demi Robbins bringing all the action. Demi, here is the first goal from Harriet Withers. It was a great strike.
Yeah, she's... Oh, finally.
There we go. It was just a stunning strike.
Yeah, Harriet's someone who, as soon as you give her space, she's going to get on the end of it. As you can see there again, awesome save by Emily, but Harriet just give her space and she'll roll with it.
And the second goal came from just pure determination from Eri Takamura. 22nd minute. A whole lot that Lions could do about that one. Strong work from the Knights striker.
Yeah, Knights are definitely showing that they're a force to be reckoned with. They're getting in there and they are just having all shots on target.
And they did think they had the third goal there, but Laura Seville was flagged for offside. And this was the last chance of the first half. Thought she had a shot going, but Karen Bass is tracking back well for the block.
Not sure if you've noticed as well, but a lot of the highlights are of Knights.
Yeah, it's strange how that happens, but it is the FQPL side. They have been the dominant one through the first half. And well, I know they were happy to take on the underdog status for this match, but just keep pressing. There is the fullback, Annabelle Gibson, following up. Halftime action continues at Imperial Corp Stadium with the mini matches in the centre of the pitch. It's always fun getting to see those halftime games.
And they love it as well. You can see when they run on the field the excitement that they have.
Just the one game going on. It was like seeing the Raw games. Sometimes you got 4 matches in each of the corners, and some of the Lions juniors there got the orange ribbons on as well.
Very cute.
All right, well, that is how we got to where we are at halftime in the Kappa Queensland Cup final. We'll be back with the second half after these messages.
The Socceroos are coming to Queensland. Round 3 of Asia's FIFA World Cup qualification kicks off on Thursday, September 5th, when Australia host Bahrain at Robina Stadium on the Gold Coast. Be a part of it as we look to make history and keep our perfect qualification record going.
It's a glorious goal!
Search Socceroos for tickets.
Felton Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters or powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
Well, Gold Coast Knights 45 minutes away from another trophy. As this all-conquering side holds a 2-0 lead in the final of the Kappa Queensland Cup here at Imperial Corp Stadium. Gold Coast Knights there getting ready for the second half. James Coughlin and Demi Robbins in commentary this evening. Under the watchful eye of coach Gary French. Knights have been the dominant side, Demi.
Yeah, I think Knights have shown that they've been dominant the whole of first half, so it'll be interesting to see how Lions react to that the second half round, and if either teams have made any changes to their squads as well.
You notice as well, Gary French giving that last team talk as well. He's such an experienced coach. He's got a very lengthy resume here in the local game. He's one of the more well-respected coaches as well.
Yeah, Gary's a coach that you just know that he does his job well, and a lot of these girls have a really great bond with him. They've been with him through years and years, through my whole football career. He's been there and been with these same girls, so I think having that connection is really good for their team.
Indeed, and also one of the nicest guys to talk to as well.
Yeah.
Always up for a chat. And there are Lions, the three-time defending champions in this competition. As Tony Rantucci gets some final words of encouragement. Emily Clark, the goalkeeper, the youngster who has stood up so far, despite conceding 2 goals, some big saves as well to keep Lions in it.
Yeah, Emily's definitely put off some good ones that, Knights were very much looking to finish those goals, so she's done very well.
And I can tell you there has been one change, at least for Lions at halftime. Number 9, Scarlett Kremel, has come on. We'll confirm who for momentarily. And also Kaho Nakadate. So halftime changes have been sprung by Rob Askew as he tries to settle it, and can confirm Meg McGilligan is still out there as well.
I was just looking for that. I was like, wait a second. Be very interesting to know what was said in the Lions locker room to the girls just then.
I suppose sometimes you can just keep it nice and simple. It's a cup final, 2 goals down, just go for it now. And go for it we will, 45 minutes away from silverware, possibly 45 minutes away from extra time. And it is Knights going from left to right now as we are under the floodlights at Imperial Corp Stadium after we started in the sunshine. Rantucci was a target for that pass, but Gibson back to Watanabe.
Doesn't look like Knights have made many changes to their team.
Sticking with a winning formula. Premo working over there. As she has come on, played all 8 matches since the start of July, and she started the 3 matches prior to this one. And just a healthy 20 goals in the NPL under-23s this season, as well as Clark off her line again, and to be sure with that clearance because it made its way to Elliott. And Knights going on the attack again. Overlapping fullback. Elliott can't find a way through Alyssa Cox. And nods it forward, trying to pick out McGilligan, who puts Brown under pressure. Kremel with Gibson. That's the Knights defender who won that battle.
Lions got away for a cheeky little handball there.
Rantucci in there, and Kissel tracking back and conceding the corner.
Don't think she intended for that one to go out for the corner, but to stop a cross in is always good.
Anywhere will do, I suppose, at a time like that.
And they've gone short nice and quickly.
And goes across towards the back post, and again, just too tall for Cox. But number 15, she has been the target for those set-piece moves towards the back post, and her height is an asset, going back to her QAS days.
Yeah, I think between her and Meg, they're both two good targets to aim for, with her having the height and Meg having the power behind her. So if that's where Lions found their goal, I wouldn't be surprised with that one.
We just had confirmation of those halftime changes. Daisy Bateman and Macy Edward were withdrawn for the nominal home side today, and Scarlett Premel and Kaho Nakadate coming on. Looking to get involved early. Looks like she'll be matched up with Gibson for this second half, and that'll be a matchup to keep an eye on. Throw finds its way to O'Keefe, the captain today, as she's potentially tripped up, but not illegally so, as Premel finds her way onto the ball, deflected off Kissel. McGilligan trying to bring it under control, and Kane stuck a foot out just to disrupt Meg McGilligan, who's crowded out but escaped a trio of Knights defenders, but can't find Cox with the pass.
Like you said in the first half, it seems, you know, whenever Meg gets a touch on the ball, there's 2 or 3 players wrapped around her very quickly, which is really good defending from Knights, but I can imagine very annoying for Meg.
Well, I'm sure it's a situation she's not entirely unfamiliar with.
No.
It's a focal point of the Lions' attack. As Cox finds space in place, it falls to the near post, but Watanabe there to clean up. But when you've got that situation where a striker is somewhat isolated almost, is it just a case of getting more bodies forward, or do they need to be making certain runs to try and challenge the thought process of the defenders?
Yeah, I think if there's a player like Meg getting cancelled out, that's where the other players do need to step up a little bit more and start making those through runs. You know, if Knights are prioritising Meg, that's where Lions can exploit them in other areas of the field and make those second man runs and get through. You know, let Meg be, unfortunately for Meg, a bit of a diversion, and then Lions just need to be having a few more bodies bounce off her and work their way up the field.
If I say season 3, Jamie Tart and Ted Lasso, would that joke resonate?
I didn't get around that one.
Well, either way,
Very well to keep that in there.
picked up now by Karen Barsis, and Lions just desperately trying to find a way through, and it almost seems like they're bypassing this Knights midfield now, which to me is almost the strength of their team. I know they've got a forward line that's scored 110 goals odd this season between them, but
Yeah, no, Amy and Rhea and the other girls in the midfield, definitely the playmakers, the one that hold it together. So if they can bypass them.
boy, now it's all about that attacking lineup. Withers, who scored in the 3rd minute. And play it straight to Bowman, who was right in the path of that pass. Premel trying to get around Gibson, and she's done just that. Scarlett Premel. Rantucci there in support as she'll put on the afterburners, get to the byline and try to play the cross, but well marshalled by Kissel, and that's something that's been evident in the opening 6 minutes. Marie Rantucci, she's playing a bit further forward now.
Yeah, it does look like they've had a bit more of a kick in their step, and they're starting to get forward that little bit more, which I think they were just lacking that little bit in the first half.
How about that burst of speed from Rantucci as well?
Yeah, I think she backed herself there, which is what you need to do.
Plenty of bodies around Watanabe.
A lot of
Instruction for Ellen Get there is ball towards the 6-yard box, and that was header won by Seville, and shot by McGilligan deflected away, and Seville had to make that header because It might have been O'Keefe that she took it away from. Karen Barr says she slipped as she put in that cross.
I think the directions on the sideline there were to not have too many players go forwards for that corner there. I think they know that Knights very much can counter and get up there nice and quickly.
Well, I suppose it's not quite all-out attack time for Lions. They do need to make sure that they keep this game as close as possible, but as well, you're also thinking, we've got to score at some point.
Yeah.
And Withers straight by Nakadate, and defender sliding. There goes Moreland with space. Is she going to get the shot on? She's pushed away and lost by Elliott. Nick Elliott. Tee up Cox. Will the flag stay down as Cox has to get by Elliott, and improvised shot there.
That was a great ball through by Meg.
That's almost what you need to do in these situations as well. It's just asking questions of the defenders. We saw them try it a little bit in the first half, but it seems like it's something that's coming with a bit more regularity now. Keith for Nielsen, who's under pressure by Takamura. And that is drilled straight into McElligott. Well, I suppose it's what you want your striker to do in that situation. Close down, even if it does come at a bit of a cost.
Body on the line at all cost.
Nielsen out for Premel. Definitely a much wider attack from Lions in this second half, although quite on the same page for that one.
Laura Seville's swapped back to the left side again after swapping over to the right side in the end of the second half. Lions definitely have a vocal somebody on the sideline there, don't they?
Well, at least they know their instructions are getting across. Seville finding space as she'll clip it back, and just behind Takamura, who was unmarked, straight through the centre of the box. The chance is still alive for Knights as Catano can't win it back. Kane stepping out well as cuts out that Lions attempted forward foray. Closing in on an hour played here at Imperial Corp Stadium. Gold Coast Knights 2 goals to nil. James Coughlin, Demi Robbins bringing you all the action. Here is the Kappa Queensland Cup draws to a close in 2024. For this game as well, Sunshine Coast Wanderers won the Under-18 Women's Queensland Cup. It's a long ball over the top, but
Too far for Meg to get to.
She's fast, but not that fast.
Laura again finding space.
And goes the cross, which might actually come down as a shot on target. Well, if it went in, I'm sure she would have claimed it.
Yeah.
Like any good striker. Advantage for Knights after Kissel was felled on the halfway line. And Withers, great move to get by. She put the early ball in, and Gett is waiting. And Withers would have been hoping that was someone in a grey jersey.
Harriet definitely has the height advantage over that side. So if they're able to get the ball to Laura and then putting in the balls in for Harriet, I think they could have some success in that back post.
A height advantage is not something I'm familiar with. And one of the Knights players is down, so we'll have a stoppage in play.
Doesn't look to be in a very good way there.
Let's see if we can just track it. It looks like it's Annabelle Gibson, and I think it might be what's a leg. And I will leave it at that, as I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. So as the teams retreat to their benches for treatment, we'll tell you what is coming up next weekend, Demi, in semi-final action.
In the semi-finals for the NPL, we have Brisbane City going against South, which is 1v4, which I think will be a very good matchup. I think Souths has been, I think they've come through a bit of the underdog this season, and they've shown that they're, you know, got a strong force. They got Abby Lloyd and the Francos, and they have a very good squad there, but obviously Brisbane City also has a great squad. And then we have East First Lions. That'll
be fun. Riverfire night at Heath Park.
Yeah. And then we have
the game that you're very, very interested in.
We have Gold Coast Knights coming up against us at Capalaba, down at Knights.
Well, just on that as well, we did mention it in the first half. You do have experience in a 1-against-4 semi-final from memory.
Yeah, back when I was at Logan, we came up against South.
It was
Gold Coast Knights.
Gold Coast United.
I
actually commentated that game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, and we had Meg McElliott was our goal scorer for that one.
And from memory, you had a clearance off the line in that game as well.
I did. I remember I was had a little bit of shaky boots when that was thrown at me, but that was good. And I was just saying earlier as well, I think when we scored, we were so excited, we jumped on Meg so much that someone actually gave her a blood nose. So
that wouldn't be the first time that's happened, actually, as well, with celebrations going awry. I feel like there's a long story in that one. And the other semi-final in the FQPL 1 competition, North Lakes and Robina City, two very competitive sides as well. And North Lakes, the rebuild under Anthony Costa in the last little while has been very impressive.
Yeah, he's done a very good job to build up a good, strong team over there. So yeah, North Lakes has definitely been a very hard team to come up against in our comp. Robina as well, just a strong squad, so that'll be a good little matchup.
Indeed it will. And Gibson has made her way over to the sideline. She has battled injuries in the last few years as well, so we certainly hope it is nothing too serious for the Knights. Number 15. And we'll resume play with the drop ball. There's just a bit of negotiation going on about who will be taking it. Brown plays that over the sideline as Lions have about half an hour to find a way back into this match. Lions will have to relinquish their grasp on the Kappa Queensland Cup. Defeated Souths in the last two finals, 4-0, 3-1. And that is the 2022 final. It was 4-0 to Lions. Also bears some significance for Knights coach Gary French as he got Souths to that final before stepping away, and he was replaced by Trent Gregson, who, as you mentioned, has done an excellent job with that squad.
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting step away for Gary French. But then
He's landed on his feet, clearly.
He said, yeah, he had a very smart move there, moving to Gold Coast Knights.
And we have an attacking change for Gold Coast Knights. Annabelle Gibson will succumb to that injury. And coming on is Paloma Oliveira. Because apparently Knights didn't have enough attacking talent on the field. Oliveira, a favourite of Gary French. He recruited her to Souths a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she has a lot of pace, so I think the Lions back line will be dreading having her come on now that they're starting to get a little bit of tired legs, because her legs, I don't think, tire out too quickly.
And one of a number of players with a futsal background as well. Crusaders FC with a number of players, including Meg McElligott.
Yeah.
Won the title last year. And also a player who's scored no shortage of goals at this ground, Steph Latham. Our argument for the football never stops. F-League season is underway too.
Yeah.
And, oh, strong challenge by Karen Barsis on Takamura. And throw-in for... Well, Knights thought they were going to have the throw-in, but...
Lions didn't even look like they thought it was theirs either.
And that is about as textbook of a tackle as you can get from Karen Barsis. Diagonal ball in behind, trying to pick out Withers. Nakabate. The intervention, cross goes in, cleared away. McElligott watch very closely once more. Attempted through ball from Kane, only find Clark, and Kane slow to get back to her feet. Cox on the far side of the pitch. O'Keefe afforded space. So Nakadate makes a run. She'll go one further out looking for Premel, but passes picked off. Looking for O'Keefe as she tries to get by Catano, and Catano didn't love that challenge.
No. I think Lions are starting to push up a little bit more and show that they can break the Knights back line a little bit, which is good to see, because a few of their passes in the first half were just kind of a little bit stagnant.
And we've talked about the experience with Lions as a club, but this is a side with a lot of new faces that they're trying to bed in as well.
Yeah, I think Lions have had such a core group of people with the Merriells, the Amy Gunstons, the Tegan Thompsons for so long now, so it's interesting to see. It's good to see a lot more younger girls coming up through it, but yeah, you can definitely tell that they're still all finding their gel a little bit throughout the game.
And I mean, it is very much a first world problem for Lions. That this is, by their standards, if not expectations, a down season. And they still finished third in the NPL standings. They've made the cup final and still looking pretty good week in, week out, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, like we said, like you can see that the girls coming through have the Lions mentality embedded into them. They have easily been brought up either through the QAS or through Lions, so they know what they're doing. It's just the team getting that gel together, which, like we said, Knights already has quite a bit of, as they've been together for a while, those girls.
And I was trying to think of the best way to sum up what this matchup is, the storyline of it, and it is two teams that just aren't used to losing.
Yeah.
Oh, that ball through could pick out McGilligan, but Watanabe sprung off her line to be the first one to the ball and did well to actually stay in the 18-yard box.
I think that's probably been Lions' best chance nearly this game.
Their only shot on target might have been midway through the first half, and might have even been a heavy pass.
Tara's been finding a lot more space in the middle of the field in this game as well, which has helped put her balls through. That's another tricky one to say. Balls through.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. And for as dominant as Knights have been as well, all it takes is one goal to completely change the complexion of the final few minutes of this match.
Yeah, well, they always say going in at halftime 2-0 is the worst scoreline to go into. So, you know, it's a very easy scoreline to come out and feel confident with your lead. But like you said, one goal, then they can just get the momentum going from there.
Rantucci, I think, might have just made her run a little bit early for that one. And, well,
she'll take her time here.
Is it a little bit early to do the time wasting at the moment?
No, I think just those few seconds even just to annoy the other team a little bit. Yeah, I think Knights will be walking a little bit slower to their throw-ins and their corners from now on.
Using their experience, putting that to good use as Oliveira closes down and it breaks for Withers. And here is Oliveira with the heavy touch. And she was otherwise through on Emily Clark. From the substitute as paid dividends, and Nakadate couldn't get anywhere close to the ball off Withers. Nakadate, another attacking fullback, as she came on at half-time just to try and shore up the Lions' defence, and we wait to see if there will be late drama. It wouldn't be a Lions match without it.
Yeah, I think we said from the get-go, neither team are a team that slow down when it gets to the last bit of the game. So we definitely can't rule Lions out at all yet. Even with their game against QS last week, they were 3-0 down and came back to 2-3 in the last 10 minutes, I think it was.
You read my mind. I was actually just going to mention that. It was chance now for Oliveira. She'll take the shot from range. Just getting a radar locked in. It's 81st minute from McGilligan and 90th minute from Rantucci. In the last 2 years, Knights have had a pretty good record against NPL sides as well. It's wins over Olympic in 2023, Easts and Penn Power this year in the Cup. And their only loss came in extra time against Mitchelton last year.
Yeah, I think this Kappa series will be putting a bit of confidence in Knights leading into going into NPL season next year.
Picked out Oliveira, and Clark was off her line, and it looked like she was unsure if she was coming or going, but was able to get the ball. And Karen Bass has just got a touch on that one. And another shot from range. I think Oliveira's just saying, all right, I'm going to seal this one myself. Gilligan wins the header as Lions just looking to enjoy a spell of possession. Bowman for Nielsen as she hit the driver with that right foot. McGilligan waiting for the cross to Kremel, but can't get it by the first defender, and down goes Catano as she's tripped up by Kremel. And there was a pretty cynical challenge there, it has to be said, from Scarlett Premo.
I think it looks like a little coat hanger on her way through.
Didn't miss with that challenge.
I think the feet part was intentional, but I don't think the
just the momentum.
the coat hanger was, yeah.
To be fair, that was actually very close to my strategy when I was trying to defend. Just, I'm not catching up.
Yeah.
It's also why I wound up in the commentary booth rather than on the field. Cox dispossessed. Gallagher, she's got Cox out wide, but unable to find the space for the pass. Instead, goes short for O'Keefe, and ball through for Rantucci. And a slip. And she's followed up very well there, Tonya Marie Rantucci.
That was a very smart tackle because I think she knew the ball was going long if she didn't get a little touch there, so at least the ball's stayed in their half now.
I always like picking players' brains with those sorts of challenges where do you always want to slide just a bit in front of the player trying to clear it just to avoid the risk of picking up a foul for collecting them late?
Yeah, I think you've got to try to slide in to obviously meet just the ball because even sometimes if you do a good slide tackle, it does come off a little bit worse off if you're collecting the player on the way through as well.
And Brown will clear it away from McGilligan. On that as well, if you've got a bit of a damp field, might want to give it a little bit extra for show.
Yeah. Does look cool for the photos and the replays.
We've got a good photographer out at Capalabar as well.
Yeah, Alan, we've just been saying a lot recently that he has just been amazing for our team this year and for the club. He really dedicates a lot of the time to the club and taking photos, which is obviously just so appreciated from everybody.
And at this level, those volunteers and assistants at the club who will help out with the behind-the-scenes stuff, they're the ones that really do help keep this going as well. I know the staff at Lions and Knights are all very committed to the cause.
Yeah, it definitely shows, and you can feel it the more support you have around you, not just from your immediate coaching staff or players directly. I think a lot of clubs.
And, oh, that was right on the edge of the box from
tiptoes
Clark
there.
And she got rid of it before too much thought could be given to that. So Keefe was fouled. Deflected for the throw-in. It's Lions taking the throw-in, finding Nakadate, and she's got room to go towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Space for the cross, and just was still rising almost when it reached Alyssa Cox.
She did well to get it through, just a little bit too much pepper on it at the end.
You get that adrenaline rush as well when you're coming forward from fullback. You think, I've got to get this right, I've got to get this right.
And you just want to get it in there, you just want to.
One of the best fullbacks I saw at making those runs here in the A-League was Ivan Franjic.
Oh, yeah.
He was always very, very good with that as well, and even got an assist at a World Cup as well in 2014 for Tim Cahill.
Yeah.
As he just announced his retirement as a player.
Yes, I saw that. He's been playing down in Melbourne.
Yes, at Knights. Loving life down there.
Yeah. I think, speaking of good fullbacks as well, someone who Lions always had was Tegan Thompson. my lovely little best friend. They always had her ripping it up the sides, which was always a massive asset to their game.
And Alyssa Cox now down, as I wonder if her race might be run, as she's just asking for treatment. And the warmer weather coming in as well. These players have run themselves into the ground. Cox has been all up and down that right sideline, trying to attack, trying to defend.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it now looking at the game, but first half the sun was blaring on all players.
And not a whole lot of contact there as well, which makes you wonder if it's just possibly a cramp or a muscle twinge or something. Again, I'm not going to speculate because my medical experience comes from watching Scrubs. And with the finals coming up as well, so we've seen Annabelle Gibson go off already for Gold Coast Knights, and now Alyssa Cox down requiring treatment. Both these coaching staffs will be hoping to keep their players healthy.
Yeah, it is always a bit of a bittersweet thing when you are making it through more rounds of the cup, because then you're just adding to your workload, and then especially as you're getting closer to finals, having though, you know, a lot of teams have a weekend off, and Knights and Lions are both playing this weekend, so
it's almost a first world problem as well, but again, I'll get your player's perspective. Is it almost easier just continuing to play rather than having to train all the time?
yeah, I suppose it's a bit of both. You kind of, it is also nice to have this free weekend and have a bit of a refresher, and
especially when you look outside and go, oh, it's beach weather.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it also does help you. You know, these girls are getting match fitness this weekend, which we're not, all other teams in the semis aren't. So there's definitely pros and cons to both of it.
Yeah. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. And we have another change coming up for Lions, as it is Cox coming off, and she will be replaced by Ari Skiers, the Samoa under-19 representative. Player of the match in the third place playoff last year, the OFC under-19 Cup. Another one of that youth brigade that is starting to take over at Richlands Luxury Paint Stadium.
I think it's interesting to see that besides the injury that Knights had, they've not made a single sub or change, have they?
No, just the one change.
Yeah.
Oliveira on for Gibson, but Gary French, there's one thing I've noticed looking at their games this season is he's not making changes for the sake of using up all of his substitutions. He's more than happy to just let this side play out the match as it unfolds, and there were numerous games where there were only one or two changes made, despite the scoreline being pretty much resolved by half-time.
Did that go out, or they...
Come back. Throw in, as signalled by Ms. Kurzaluska. With Gold Coast Knights 10 minutes away from their third trophy of the season. They're on the quest for the quintuple, would you believe, Dan?
Yeah.
So can you name all 5 trophies that they've been playing for as Seville goes into the box? We'll come back to that in a second. Tries to square it for Withers, and Nakadate with the desperation challenge, and it goes behind for a corner. Or goal kick.
Goal kick.
Much to the surprise of Laura Seville.
Looks like there was a lot of Lions bodies in there.
Let's see what the replay will tell us.
Yep, that's
I would say corner.
I would say corner too.
Well, they've got an attacking throw-in either way, Knights. But anyway, the quintuple.
Yeah, so it's Premiers,
Yes.
the Grand Final,
Yep.
then the Kappa Cup,
Yep.
and then whatever the other cup that I was in.
The Pro Series.
I get the names mucked up. But yeah, so they already won that one.
They've won 2.
They've won the
on
Premiers.
their way to a third.
On their way to the third, and then they won't get to the grand final because Kappa are going to knock them out.
Just mark that tape, 83 minutes. But then the 5th one is the FQPL Champions League.
What's that?
So that's a competition with the regional teams as well that will be, that's been running up north, and the FQPL Premiers will be taking on that one as well. It's been the domain of the Southeast Queensland sides the last few years as well, but 5 trophies in store for Gold Coast Knights this year. I'm full of fun trivia like that.
Yeah. I'm going to sit on 4 because we're going to knock them out.
If anyone from Knights is listening, I know all about providing motivation to clubs. Just ask St George Willawong.
Oh, I did see that photo, actually.
I should have sent a better photo of myself to that, but anyway. I got to have some fun with it. Look, it's not the first prediction I've missed on, and it definitely won't be the last.
I think it's good. It makes them drive a little bit more.
Yes, well, if anyone is watching, my predictions are open to influence for 2025 as well.
It's good to see that neither team have dropped off a little bit, I think, in coming into the last 5 minutes plus a bit of extra time.
And at these moments, you've just got to sort of push for it as well. And I think I just heard Lions bench say they're going to a back 3 now. This is the time of the game where it is pretty much go for broke. It doesn't matter if it becomes 3 or 4 because it's a cup final and there's no goal difference in cup finals.
I think, like we were saying earlier, when they were screaming for Ellingett to get back and have more than 2 at the back, that was, early on, and he didn't want.
How about that run just from Catano to set up that cross as well? Just shrugged off the challenge. Withers was waiting at the back post for that cross, which didn't reach her, thanks to Emily Clark, who, we've said it before, she has had a really good game, the Lions keeper, despite conceding 2 goals.
Yeah, she's definitely made those steps off her line, which I think have helped the shutting down the Knights attackers a lot. It's definitely a risky game to play, but she's pulled it off every time. So I think, she's been awesome for Lions today.
And it does say a lot that Rob Askew is so comfortable trusting her in a situation like this as well. And both of the goals, they weren't really the fault of the Lions' defence. It was just a case of Knights
being Knights.
Yeah, really good strike for the first goal and just sheer determination from Takamura for the second. And that's how we went into half-time. That's how it is now with 4 minutes of normal time remaining. James Coughlin, Demi Robbins bringing you the action from Imperial Corp Stadium in the women's final of the Kappa Queensland Cup. Kicking off in about an hour's time from now. Josh Musamisi and myself will be bringing you the action for the men's final between Lions and Moreton City.
Ellingett accidentally just bumping that one off the top of her head and giving Knights another corner.
And as you teased earlier, Knights in no rush to take this set piece.
I think now is the time that they really can start to dawdle it a little bit more if they like. Push the boundaries.
What's your go-to move in a situation like this? You're 2-0 up, running down the clock. Do you tie up the shoelaces to just readjust the jersey? Or?
As being a left back, I do a lot of throw-ins, so I'm very much a slow walker to the throw-ins. I'm happy to overwalk it and then get told to walk it back to the spot. So that's always a good one for me.
Have the argument with the winger over who's taking it.
Yeah, no, you take it, I'll take it.
This is my area, is this yours?
Wipe the ball off, it's a bit wet, you got to dry it.
It's pretty much now whenever for Lions, and they've given it away again. Takamura lunged in and got the ball and all for that one. And Takamura has stayed down after that hefty collision. Two committed players going for the challenge.
I think she puts her body on the line here, and then, yeah.
And if you're Karen Barsis, all you're really saying is, I was going for the ball.
Exactly,
she just
yeah.
took the space where the ball was. Or again, if we're talking my playing career, it was, I'm sorry, ref, I'm not malicious, I'm just rubbish.
I just fell over.
That's why you're the player and I'm the commentator. So we are 2 weeks away from grand final day at Suncorp Stadium. Shapes up to be an exciting, long day of action. If last year was anything to go by, I was at the ground for 12 hours for
God.
4 grand finals, and I loved every minute of it. This really is the best time of year in Queensland football, isn't it?
Just finals everywhere.
Finals, every game just means that little bit more.
Yeah.
So last week we had Sunshine Coast and Mitchelton facing off with the relegation battle as well. And both of those sides actually wound up staying up thanks to the midweek catch-ups. And this could be it for Lions. Can they find a way back? It's chipped over and it's in, but an offside flag will cancel that goal. And the whistle went off with the ball in the air. And even the assistant is feeling what has been an intense game.
And that was the fullback who we said got brought on for attacking purposes. She got on the end of that one.
Yes, it was Nakadate was waiting and McGilligan. Oh,
That was close.
we've had a couple of close offside calls, but look, offside or not, that was a really good cross from McGilligan, even if it didn't count. So 4 minutes for Lions to pull off some sort of miracle, or 4 minutes for Knight to add another trophy to the bulging cabinet down at Carrara.
Again, if it wasn't Lions, I would nearly say this is a done deal, but Lions do have a way of finding.
Commentary tip, never say it's a done game.
Exactly, so.
And even if it was, stay tuned because we've got the Men's Cup final coming up soon.
Should be very well to keep that one in there.
You've enjoyed your first stint in the FQ
Yeah,
commentary
it's not
box?
too bad. Just get to talk, which I do a lot of anyway, so.
So remember bringing up the idea of, as Withers has stolen the ball, she shaped for the shot. Instead, we'll look to cross it back for Oliveira. Yes, it was suggested that you would be quite good at any role that involves talking.
Yeah.
So
I think my partner just turned it off, but if he was listening, he would say that definitely any role that involves talking is very much me. Can Laura
good forward by Seville. Can she get a goal? She's chipped it up and it's
looks like it hit
back
the
off the
crossbar.
bar and on the follow-up Withers. Well, you can smile when you're 2-0 up in second half stoppage time, but
I think Laura would have been dying to get on the scoreboard then, though.
see Brisbane
Oh,
football.
Harriet's won it.
It's turned over there, and that will ice it. It's a third goal for Knights, a second goal for Harriet Withers. It's 3-0 to Knights, and now you can say that they are going to win the Kappa Queensland Cup in 2024.
I think we've said this all game that Knights aren't a team that are going to switch off. So I think that just shows that winning the ball back that high up at the field when you're 2-0 up is just a full credit to them just going and going and going.
And it's almost just a tired effort as well from the Lions defenders. Nielsen and Withers just was there to benefit. And so in their 21st game in the Kappa Queensland Cup, formerly Kappa Women's Super Cup, it'll be the first defeat for Rob Askew and Lions, which Takamura could add further pain, and it almost fell for Oliveira off the missed kick. But I mean, we have to give Lions their due credit for their dominance in this competition over the last few years, and this loss shouldn't take away what has been a phenomenal run.
Lions have been unbelievable. I think the reason that clubs are succeeding so much more now is because Lions have been the benchmark that, every other team and club is trying to reach, which, some teams are. So, like, full credit to Lions for setting that mark so high.
And Skiers will play it into the 6-yard box where it's easily claimed by Watanabe. And the bench is ready to celebrate. Gibson with a sleeve on her right knee. Hopefully she's able to recover from whatever injury it was that forced her off. But with the semi-finals coming up as well, I know you're hoping that Knights will be going wild with their celebrations, but the job is not done for them in 2024.
No, I think I do think that Knights might have a bit of a fun bus trip back down the coast tonight. I reckon that they'll have a few celebrations on there.
And it is very much a statement going into 2025 as well. And Kreml gives away the free kick after collecting Elliott. And Kreml, well, as time might be up, but she's walking a bit of a delicate line. It's another cynical foul. Just a bit late in that one. Well, the trophy is heading down the M1 to Carrara. Gold Coast Knights, 3-0 victors in the final of the Kappa Queensland Cup. The bench can celebrate. The players can celebrate. And it's another trophy for the Knights. Demi, it was a thoroughly deserved result based on the 90-minute performance as well. And really, it's time to party.
I know that you can just see the excitement in it. They deserve it. They've played awesome. They're having on a hot streak absolutely for this whole season. So
it is, and the final score is 3-0. And the goals, Harriet Withers. And she is 2 goals in the match. Mary Takamura scored in the 22nd minute as well, but it all ends in handshakes. These sides will be facing off again in 2025, and it is going to be must-watch football when they play. And the celebration.
Yeah, happy group of girls.
And there is one of the volunteers that we mentioned as well, jumping in, Jodie Dickens, who is so key to what happens at that club across both the men's and the women's program as well. She lives and breathes the celebrations.
Got the flag out.
The day-to-day operations of Gold Coast Knights. There we go. She's getting the flag around the right way. As long as it's not upside down.
I think she triple-checked that, Laura. I'm sure Laura will have her twin little girls running out for some celebrations soon as well.
And it is always one of the best parts, seeing the players getting to celebrate with their families as well. Applauding the supporters as well. And now 53 wins in 55 matches for Gold Coast Knights since the start of 2023. Just an utterly insane record. I wish there was a better way to describe it, but they are that good. And Gary French is stoic as ever. As he's probably thinking, how can I keep them relaxed for next weekend and focus?
There's lots of smiles, lots of cuddles.
As we can now go to the highlights, and it was Harriet Withers getting us started in the 3rd minute. Strike to open up the scoring.
It's just such a strong goal here. Just
Takamura
holding her own and being able to still finish it under that pressure.
You can see several just on the left of screen. They're going, foul, never mind. And at that point as well, the Lions in the second half, this might have been their best chance. I'm sure with Cox trying to play, but that's pretty much a summary of all the chances that Lions had in this game, didn't it?
Yeah, they were, getting closer. It's just that final bit just wasn't getting there.
They were going close, but just when they got into the final third, it just wasn't quite eventuating the way that they would have been hoping for.
No, I think that's, they just were missing that final bit, and then also I think Knights were just doing a great job. They also had Lions tied. This was also that one that was just offside.
Yes, Lions did get the ball in the back of the net, but that was flagged for offside against Meg McGilligan. And back to the first half highlights, because that strike from Withers was just that good. And that is what they're playing for, the Perpetual Trophy, and the one that will be displayed proudly amongst all the other ones Knights have already won across both the men's and the women's program.
I think we saw in their premier celebrations there was a few drinks getting poured in those trophies and
well, that's why you want a cup.
Getting done, so I think there'll be a bit of that tonight as well.
Most certainly, and for Lions as well, they've got to rebound quickly as well. They're playing East in a semi-final next weekend, but there really wasn't a lot to be disgraced by with that performance. It was just two good sides and the better one on the day one.
Yeah.
You can see Chelsea Fairbairn, who still has tomorrow off work at QT's Cafe.
Yes, I couldn't bring her in now that she, won't be doing too much celebrating tonight.
In the meantime, the presentation is taking place on the field.
Please put your hands together once again for our 2024 Kappa In every knockout cup competition, and specifically in every cup final, unfortunately there must be a winner and a loser. To Rob Askew and his Lions team, who have had a hugely successful record in the Kappa Women's Super Cup, the previous iteration of this competition, perennial winners of that trophy, perennially successful in the NPL Women. They're off to another NPL Women's Final Series for 2024. We'd like to just acknowledge again the season that you guys have had, and invite you forward please to collect your runners-up medals. Bruno, they're on, I'm pretty sure. Are they not on?
And it's another trophy that's going down to the cabinet at the Croatian Sports Centre at Carrara. The drinks are flowing, and if you didn't hear that in the celebration, a very happy birthday for Katie Kissel, who is the first one drinking out of the cup. Well, it is a thoroughly deserved victory in the Kappa Queensland Cup. Demi, what were your big takeaways from the game?
I think just that Knights are just a force to be reckoned with. They're going to come into the NPL absolutely hot, and just full credit to them. They've been amazing this season, and they deserve every bit of the celebrations right now.
That they will. Lions gallant in defeat, but just on the day overmatched. And it was a 3-0 victory. Harriet Withers, 2 goals. Eri Takamura with 1 as we'll wrap up with the highlights from today's game. As Gary French takes a well-earned drink from that one as well, and he might be the happiest man on the pitch right now.
I think we saw he had a little glistening tear in Amy Morland's speech, which was nice as well.
And just the compliments that his side give to him as well, gave him as well there. It just shows how hard they play for him. These are the highlights of the game. That was Harriet Withers opening the match with a goal in the 3rd minute. Takamura with the 2nd goal about 20 minutes later. And then so close to a 3rd goal there for Withers. She got the goal kick off that one and buried the chance just to put the icing on the cake. And that was how the final score finished. 3-0 in favour of Gold Coast Knights. Demi, thank you very much for your company this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have. Thank you for having me.
And best of luck, not only with the cafe, but also next weekend in your semi-final. Be tuning in for that one with great anticipation.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, and that is going to be it from the women's final. Stay tuned on FQTV, 7:15 p.m. kickoff. It's Lions against Moreton City. For Demi Robbins, I'm James Coughlin. Thank you very much for your company. Congratulations, Gold Coast Knights, and good night.